how many bands did you play in before the Blue Band? Any or?
Well, I played in a junior high school band called Tortoise and the Hare. That, well, since you're from over there by the river, we would often play the Battle of the Bands at the Call Ballroom when I was in high school. I went to Davenport Central High School. And I played in a band called Tortoise and the Hare then, and we would come in, I don't know, 13th out of 25 or some stuff like that, you know. And then when I went to college, I was a drummer then, and then when I went to college, I was also an athlete at the same time. I was an honorable mention All-State quarterback at Davenport Central, and so when I went to UNI to go to school, I sold my drums and I bought a Gremlin car, and pretty much had given up playing in bands until, well, you're a radio guy, so you know sometimes you get perk tickets. People get tickets, and I got tickets to see Bruce Springsteen, 10th Row Center in Hancher Auditorium, the same year that he was on the cover of Time and Newsweek at the same time and all of that stuff. And I went there, total skeptic. I just went, this guy cannot be near as good as everybody says. And it took him, I'm going to say maybe 12 seconds to have me in the palm of his hand. And he made that look so fun that I went, you know, I got to try playing music again. So I started another little band called the Rags Review, and that evolved into a drunken hippie road circus called the Little Red Rooster Band, which all of us thought, well, we can't really play our instruments very good. If we get really, really drunk, I bet it'll sound way better. So
at least to you.
That was exactly. That was kind of the Faces approach to to music, and so that kind of evolved into a little bit more bigger band. Little Red Rooster traveled a little while, and we got hooked up with a guy called Jimmy Holiday, who wrote a lot of. We moved to Minneapolis. We did a tour that went from Minneapolis to Alexandria, Minnesota, to Fargo, Moorhead, up to Grand Forks, North Dakota, all the way across North Dakota to Glendive, Montana. We called it Nosedive, Montana. Then all the way across Montana to Missoula, Montana, back through West Yellowstone, then to Deadwood, South Dakota, played the famous Saloon Number 10 there a few times, then across the Dakotas back to Omaha, Nebraska, then Des Moines, and then back up to Minneapolis. And that would take about 6 weeks at a time. And we did that tour twice. And we only lived in Minneapolis for 19 months, so most of it was on the road. And the second time I got back after 6 weeks with about $1.25 more than I left with. And called up KUNI and said, I'm really tired of starving. Can I have my job back? And I got a half-time job back there. So that's what that is. And so then after Little Red Rooster kind of disintegrated for 4.5 years, I literally had 3 contracts that were signed for Little Red Rooster. And when I called up the clients, one of them was the Rock Island Brewing Company in Rock Island back there, and that would have been 1981 or so. I called up and I said, Dan, I don't have a band anymore. I can't do the contract. And to the person, all 3 of them said, well, we don't really care what you show up with, but you're signed to be here on that date, and so show up with a band and it'll be fine. So I was traveling with the violin player named Molly Nova at the time, and she and I started, just to satisfy these 3 contracts, started a band. And we thought, oh, we'll call it Bobby's Blue Band. Won't that be funny? Ha, ha, ha. People, they'll think, oh, Bobby Blue Band, oh, Bobby's Blue Band. And so we thought it was really, really funny, and it was just a way to play these dates. And in those 3 dates, I think we had greater success in those 3 dates than the Little Red Rooster Band ever had in 4.5 years traveling all that time. And it just kind of built on that, and the Blue Band will be 30 years old on June 10th. So half a year to go, and we'll be 30 years old. Woo!
Yeah.
And that's the sum total of it. So 3 bands in my entire lifetime.
Well, the third one is the one. Huh? Click.
Third time is the charm.
There you go.